Soon I will be done. Troubles of this world with the troubles of this world. Troubles of this world. Soon I will be done. Troubles of the world. I'm going home to live with God. I want to see my mother. I want to see her. I want to see my mother. I'm going home to live with God.
Michael Brown, Eric Gammer, Sandra Bland, Freddie Gray, Philando Castile, Oscar Sterling, Sean Bell, John Crawford III, Walter Scott, Akai Gurley, Amadou DeLeo, Jamal Clark, Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, Pamela Turner, Breonna Taylor, Corinne Gaines, Atiana Jefferson, Chantel Davis, Ahmaud Arbery, Tamir Rice, Alton Sterling, Tanisha Anderson. Say their name.
Say their name. What's up, everybody? It's your girl with the vibe, LexiLive. And we're going to try to keep this show as light as possible. But as you know, our nation is in a crisis. This is a time of prayer. This is a time of consecration. This is a time of just tuning in to hear what God is saying in this moment. And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be totally transparent. I am struggling. I am struggling with my emotions. I am struggling with the way I feel and the way I want to express. But I have to represent Christ at all times, no matter how I feel. You know, I can't send a mixed message. I can't be double-minded. I can't be all over the place. I have to, you know, turn Alexis all the way off. And sometimes, most of the times, just be quiet because it's so heavy. Tonight's guest is a young lady that I really admire. I really look up to. I really see what she's doing in ministry, in the community, in her family, in life in general. And this is somebody who I definitely, once again, I always say, my pastor says, who do you know that I need to know? This is somebody that I know, and I feel like everybody needs to know her. Everybody needs to know this young lady, Cornelia Carson. Welcome, sis.
Thank you. Thank you. Good. How are you?
Looking fabulous.
Thank you. You too. You too.
Thank you. So how's everything? How you been doing through this this quarantine and when
with everything, I'm kind of like in the same boat as you. Like I'm struggling, beyond the quarantine, just with everything else that's going on. The killings of our people, and it's sad. I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken for everything that took place like over the past week. It's been wild, but God is a keeper, and but like you said, I'm struggling too. So it's definitely hitting, and it's hitting hard.
Yeah, because it'll make you afraid. It'll
Right.
make you afraid, and it's not like, because I honestly I feel like the looting is over, right?
Right.
They did what they gonna do. That's
Right.
it. And I feel like, but now, because of the release of the National Guards and all of
Right.
that, I feel like they're trying to get their hit back, if you will. So they're coming at us aggressively, and I'm like, that's the reason why we're here in the first place. So you're just proving, why we're marching, why we're fighting, why we're resistant, because of the brutality. Like at some point, you got to call it what it is. This is like flat out brutality.
Exactly.
So I refuse to live in fear. I don't want to, because God didn't give us the spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. So all of those things have to resonate, right? The powers, right? Powers,
Right.
not just this one, but this one, the
Exactly.
ultimate power, and love, and the sound mind. You can't focus on those things and let them things like feast on your brain. It'll take you on like to somewhere you don't even want to be. But I was thinking earlier today, and I think it's in Revelations when it says, as soon as you declare peace, then will come sudden destruction.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, wow, like I don't know where this is going to end. But as soon as we were getting ready to go outside, right? They was wrapping up and getting ready to open the doors, and everybody was getting ready to be out partying. Then came sudden, and I mean destruction.
Yeah. Like taking our communities, destruction.
Oh, families and communities, like left and right. So this is the sign of the time.
Definitely.
Get ready. They one of the ministers preached on Sunday about the virgins. Keep your lamps trimmed and burning, like because the time is drawing nigh. It's drawing nigh. It is drawing nigh. Yes. So Cordelia, welcome, sis.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So you are a minister and a member at, let me get this right, Hope City.
Yes.
Under the leadership right now of the Weatherbees, but the overseer is the Fitzgeralds.
Correct.
Mighty men and women of God. Mighty men and women of God.
Yes.
You're an author.
Yes.
Of 3 books or 1 book?
1 book right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, listen, maybe I'm speaking time into it.
Yes. Come on, jumping ahead.
It had to happen.
Yes.
Now I heard like you do poems and stuff surrounding that. That is powerful. We're gonna get into that because I want you to like expound on that. It had to happen. There's so much power in just that statement alone.
Yeah.
Because people try to avoid what has to happen.
Yeah.
And then you do you are a preacher, praise and worship. I've seen you poetry. I've seen you in you're doing your thing. I saw you. So what motivated you? Like how do you get your creativity? Like where do you draw from?
I feel like I've always been a creative person. Like since I was younger, I've always been a creative person. I never really understood it, but like I was always in activities. Like I was always in something that kept me active and kept me busy. If I wasn't busy, I felt like I wasn't doing anything. And like I said, I started that when I was younger, like elementary school. And as of now, where I draw from is my testimony. A lot of, dance, like when I minister and dance, like I listen to the words and put myself in those words so that I can express it through dance, so that I'm not just dancing to dance, but I am actually ministering the words of the song, and that people like can feel my heart, like, yo, she lived this song and you can tell it. The same thing with poetry. Like I draw from my testimony, I draw from different things that I've gone through, and just put it out there for the people to hear it, and to be an encouragement to everyone. Because I remember when I was in a stuck place. I remember when I was walking around with my head low. I remember when I was discouraged. I remember when I walked around not wanting to live anymore. Like I remember all of those things, and I don't want anybody else to walk around thinking that they are alone and thinking that they have to go through this alone. So that's what I draw from. Like I draw from the strength of my story, or the pain of my story, and put it into words that people can understand it, and be as transparent as I can, and just minister the way that God will allow me to.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So where do you find your are you more comfortable in what capacity? Is it poetry? Is it the spoken word? Is it dance? Like where you more like I tend to go towards singing. Like that's my I'm comfortable. So what about you?
I think I'm more comfortable with poetry,
Okay.
because I can memorize it, and but then it's like you also, even with that, like you still have to be open, like when you're preaching, of course, you're writing down and you're studying, and listening for the voice of God to speak to you and to give you what to say to his people, and then afterwards like really listening to his voice. It's kind of the same thing with poetry, except for it's not rehearsed. You're not memorizing a whole sermon or anything like that. Like, yeah, you're going to go through it to make sure that you're able to flow, but when it comes to poetry, like that's my safe place. I can go back and I can memorize, and I can keep doing the same thing over and over. But when it comes to the ministering part, like, yeah, the poem itself can minister, but when God has those moments where you got to open your mouth and speak what he's saying, you got to be ready. But still, poetry would be my safe place.
Right, right, right. How does your ministry, how does your church, your leadership, how do they impact your ministry?
Um, they're constantly pushing me. like they like I remember times when I didn't want to do anything. Like I wanted to sit down from everything. I didn't want to preach. I didn't want to sing anymore. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to dance. Like I didn't want to do anything. And I remember my first lady, Pastor Jamie, she was talking to me one day and I was just crying. And she was like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know." And she was like, "No, you know who you are. Who are you?" It's like I had to proclaim out of my own mouth, like, yeah, she um continued to remind me of who I was. But until I spoke that thing out of my own mouth of who I was, I couldn't move forward in the different things, and I couldn't shake that feeling or that heaviness that I was feeling during that time. So they inspire me so much. They push me. They never let me stay in low places. They never let me stay stuck. They never let me stay stagnant or anything like that. Like they always push for me to go higher. My overseers the same way. Like, every once in a while they'll call like, "Hey daughter, how you doing? What's going on? What's up? What are you doing? Where are you at? Okay, well, what are you doing with this project? This is what you need to do with this, and that in order to move forward with that." So all four of them is just like I'm getting the best of both. And like I said, they are constantly pushing and consistently encouraging me, even through their own ministry. And I see what they're doing, with being entrepreneurs. And like my Pastor Weatherby, he has a book out, and I know that he's writing another book. And it's like we are each other's accountability partners, because he knows that I'm working on more. And they make sure I stay on top of the game.
It's so good to hear you talk about your church. You like, oh my pastor, it's so good to see that. Like you literally light up when you talk about your listen.
Yeah, I love my
If
church.
you're not talking, if you can't speak of your church in that way, you need to reevaluate some things, because
Right.
you see it going on. It's going on around you, right?
Right.
Life is too short, and your church ministry and your pastors, they are essential. They are
Right.
essential to you getting to glory.
Exactly.
Period. They are essential. And if they not calling you, if they not reaching out, if they
Right.
not checking on you, if they not holding you accountable, if you not, I'm not talking about no vision board parties and all of that stuff.
Right.
No, like tuning into you, checking in with you individually. A
Mhm.
lot you need to reevaluate, right? Because right
Right.
at this time, it is the time for the strongest to be like the bearers of those who are coming up behind them and following them. So it's
Right.
a blessing to see that.
Thank
Hear
you.
like how you
Yes.
see how you just bubbling over.
I love my church.
Wow. Shout
AC3
out,
for life.
shout out, shout out. What's the address? What's the address?
6340 Dayton Street, Philadelphia, PA 19144.
All right, go get your word. And I haven't heard the Weatherbees, but I have heard the Fitzgeralds, and they are dynamic.
Yes, yes.
Flow heavy in the prophetic, correct?
Yes,
And
yes.
just like on it,
Yes.
on it. I really do admire that ministry myself. I really do. So let's switch it up a little bit. Everybody knows I love to play games. I like to lighten the mood and keep it fun. So
Yes,
we're
let's
gonna do TV theme shows.
okay.
All right, we're gonna do the theme song. All right.
All right, I'm ready.
First one, you gotta give me the name of the show and then you have to finish the lyric.
All right.
You ready?
All right, let's go. I'm ready.
Everywhere you look, everywhere there's a heart, there's a heart. I'm here to hold on to. Everywhere you look, everywhere there's a place. Somebody who needs you. Everywhere you look. When you're lost.
Out there and you're all alone. I know the tune. I know the tune. Oh my gosh. And I know this show. Hold on. Because they just came back on Amazon again. Not Amazon, on Netflix. Oh my gosh. Why can't I think of it? I know this song. Oh my gosh. Why can I not think of it? I know it. Wait. Oh, love of the Father.
Wow.
I can't think of it, but I know what it is, and I'm be so mad when you say it. So mad when you say it. I see
it. And Full House.
I should get a half point.
All alone. Light is waiting to carry you home.
Yes. Everywhere you look.
It's too late now.
I knew it started with a
I give you 0.5. I give you 0.5.
All right.
Ready?
I'm ready.
All right, next one. Ready?
All right.
Oh, I gotta say this right. Okay. See, no one told me life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you're broke. Your love life's DOA.
Looks like you're always switching to second gear. So when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year, hey! I'll be there for you, friends. Yes.
All right. Okay. All right, here we go. One more. I got one more.
All right.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Hanging out down the street.
Oh my gosh.
The same old thing we did last week.
Nothing to do. That 70s show?
Yes.
Right.
That was good. Okay, I
don't be knowing all the words, but
I've been doing this. I think you
for real. Listen, I love my shoes.
Yes. That was good. Give it up for y'all. Give me some hands.
Hey.
Good. So a little bit more about you. Like, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about you and like how you came up, and tell us about you.
So I grew up in church. I grew up in a small Baptist church. It was a family church. But the more I grew up in church, the more I loved church. Like, I wasn't really taught how to have a relationship with God, but like I knew of God, and I knew enough of God that when I faced different circumstances and different situations, I knew that I could turn to God.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, brought up in church. As I stated early on, always active in school. I was on the basketball team. I was a cheerleader in school and outside of school. I was part of the dance team, part of the drama ministry. Well, not ministry in school, but part of the drama team. I was a part of it all. I had, different things that I went through as a child that kind of like messed me up a little bit. Even when I was a teenager, different things occurred that happened to me, and it like really took a toll on my life, and it took a toll on me even going to church and stuff like that. I questioned God, like God, and I think that's why He gave me the book title, It Had to Happen. But I questioned it, like, why did I have to go through this? Like, why couldn't it be somebody else? And if I had to go through this, why did it have to be this person? Like, just a lot of different questions that I was confused. I was hurt. I was broken, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Like, I didn't know who I was. And because I didn't know who I was, I sought for love in other places. I sought for comfort and in other places. Like, I sought for that, to be held and to want to hear that you're loved, or even not even hearing that I'm loved, because I really didn't hear that a lot when I was in, the situation that I was in, but just wanted to hear different things that will define me as a person. And, I began to seek that in men. So before I came back into church, like, and I have no problem telling it that we good.
Oh no, we talking. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Listen, this is a total transparency platform, and that's what we hear for people who need to hear people being transparent.
Cool. So I, like I said, I sought love in men. I was addicted to sex. I became what I call an undercover prostitute, because I was having sex for food, of course, because I'm younger and like is whatever. I didn't really have money, so dude at the poppy store, I knew he had a crush on me. Like, hey, give me some money. He like followed me in the basement. I'm having sex in the basement of a store. Like, no self-worth, no self-value, no self-esteem whatsoever. Like, I didn't value myself as a person because I was so hurt and because I was so broken. So, for money, for food, for clothes, for whatever I could get, I was having like, I wasn't out on the streets or anything like that, but I was still doing this. Nobody really knew. I didn't really like openly start talking about it until I was, until I did my poem, where I just started exposing a lot of different things, because I'm like, different people need to hear this. Like, I struggled in relationships. I struggled just with even gaining confidence in myself of who God created me to be. Even when I came back into church and developed a relationship with God, like, yes, I got baptized in Jesus' name, and yes, I was filled with His Holy Spirit, but at the same time, like, I still struggled with who God created me to be. Like, I got prophecies and things of that sort. Like, God created you to do this, and He created you to do that, and I'm like, God, I believe your word, but I don't see it, and I don't feel it. And why would you call me to do this when I'm still broken in this area? Why would you call me to do that when I'm still struggling with this? So it was like a lot of different what ifs and why, and I can't. So I always fought with myself until one day, I just like, God, I can't do, like, I don't want to fight with this anymore. Like, I want your will, because I know that your will is best for my life. And when I began to surrender my will for the will of God, is when he began to like break a lot of different chains off of my life and begin to change my mindset. And a lot of times the enemy will always come to try to make me forget, even though like I know who I am now. He will always play those mind games, you know. I think it was Joyce Myers that wrote that book, Battlefield of the Mind.
Mm-hmm.
And it talks about the struggles and the fights that we go through in our mind. And that's what I was going through. Like, I was fighting with myself and with the thoughts of the enemy, and trying to drown out the thoughts of the enemy and the words of the enemy with the word of God and what God said about me. So, you know, even though the enemy would say, you'll never be nothing, I will always say, God, you said that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Like, you said that I am beautiful. You said that I am more than a conqueror. Like, you know the thoughts that you think towards me. So I know that I can do this with your help and with your strength. And even like I said, to this day, like, I still move forward with those things. And getting into church was difficult. Well, back into church and developing a relationship with God was difficult. But I thank God that, you know, the first church that I started going to, they instilled the word of God in me, that I would understand it and that I would know it for myself. They challenged me and they pushed me. And I'm just so thankful for that. Like, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be the woman of God that I am today. Like, yes, God transitioned me to another church, which is when I started going to Christ's Mission and started getting the word and started getting challenged. And, you know, my pastor, she's like, all right, you want to do this? And I'm like, you sure? She's like, yes. Like, this is what I want you to do. This is what you're going to move forward. And I just thank God for that, like, for the challenging of it. And even my current church, Hope City, you know, I know that there's a mantle for prayer on my life. Like, I know that for sure. And when I first came to Hope City, prophetess Jocelyn, she I always felt like she was picking on me. She was like, all right, daughter, this is what I want you to do. And I just was like, you can't, right? And she's like, no, like, this is what I want you to do. So I was like, I feel like you're picking on me. And God was like, no, you know, she's not picking on you. Like, this is what I'm doing to help grow you, like, to make you more mature in prayer, and for you to see the different tactics and strategies of how to come against the enemy's camp, and how to intercede for your family, and how to intercede for strangers, and how to pick people up in the spirit and pray for them and carry them in prayer. And it was just so much that I learned. So now I'm looking back at the different things that I went through and everything that the enemy tried to keep me from, and to see what I'm doing now, I'm like, okay, so that's why it had to happen. That's why it had to happen. So I'm so grateful and thankful to God, like, just for the transformation in my life, and that, you know, I just want to continue to let my light shine so that others may see the work of God
and glorify.
That's it.
Who is in heaven. So,
yes.
So talk a little bit about that it had to happen, because you hit 3 major topics in this book that's like, I think everybody need to hear about this. Like, everybody need, because I think everybody struggle with these three topics. Everybody is on that tip. So talk a little bit about the book, and then let's go get into those 3 topics.
All right.
Because that's real life. That's real life.
Yeah. So this is my book, everyone. I don't hope you can see it. This is my book. This is the back of it. It's very, as you can see, like, I wasn't trying to write a whole dictionary. I wanted to get straight to the point. And a lot of people, they grab a hold of more when it's less. So, but it's like, it's less, but it's a whole lot in there. And it had to happen. Just, again, tells my testimony of different things that I've gone through, the struggles that I faced, the hurt that I went through, the different cycles that I went through, the addictions that I had to deal with, the soul ties that I had to deal with, like, not getting into like depth about it, but just kind of brushing over it.
Yeah, so talk a little bit. You don't have to talk like get into what the book says, but in your own definition, expand a little bit on cycles, because I feel like we go through that a lot. Like even in relationships, with jobs,
Yeah.
friendships, it's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle that we go through. So talk a little bit about, in your own words, like how would you define a cycle, an unhealthy cycle?
An unhealthy cycle is going through something, coming out of it, and going back in after God delivered you, knowing that he told you not to go back. And that's just the short version of it. You know, constantly going in this same circle over and over again. Like, okay, God, I asked you for a mate. And then you think that the mate is there. So you go into this relationship and it's like, okay, no, I'm not going to have sex until I get married. But then things get intimate and you slipped up again. And then you come out of that relationship and like, all right, God, I'm good. I don't want no relationships. Then you start longing for another relationship. You get into another one. I'm not going to do this until I get married. Then you back in it. So it's the same thing over and over again. And we don't know how to stop it because we have no it's a few things that can keep you from, that can keep you in cycles. No self-control, low self-esteem. Like depending on what your cycle is, it varies on what keeps you in the cycle. And that's when you have to really define and really look back at what's keeping you stuck in these cycles. Like I know for me, even now, like I'm in a process of like getting complete healing from different things because I saw different cycles continually happening in my life. And I'm like, God, like, why am I lacking in this area? Why can't I do this? And I kept seeing myself going in these cycles and in these circles. And I had to step back and I was like, oh, that's why. So, I got myself a life coach. I'm like, listen, I need help. And, and I think that's something that the body of Christ shouldn't fear. Like, don't fear getting help because, yes, we know that God is our ultimate help. But at the same time, he also put different people here on the earth that will help us mentally and emotionally and psychologically to overcome different obstacles and overcome different things that we've gone through. So, to help us break these cycles, like my life coach, she's Christian, she's filled with the Holy Ghost, like she thebomb.com, and I love her. And if y'all want her information, let me know. But yeah, that's cycles.
Because I remember when my husband and I were going through marriage counseling, and we kept getting the definition of cycles, and they were saying it could play out like, my wife don't listen to me. No, my husband don't listen to me, so I don't show him respect. Well, I don't show him respect because he don't listen to me. Well, I don't listen to her because she don't show me respect. Well, I don't show him respect. So it's right. It's like well, if he listens to me, then I might respect him. Well, then if she don't respect me, then I ain't gonna listen to her. And well, then you need to listen to me. Well, then I ain't showing her. I ain't holding the door. It's just gonna hit her. Right. That cycle, and not getting off the wheel.
Right.
Not being humble. And this is just in the instant of a relationship, but like you said, it's a whole spectrum of cycles and how they can come in different with overeating. Not being patient, anger.
Yes.
Something
so much.
There's so many things that create cycles, and it can easily become a generational thing if you don't break it. Like you can pass it on to your kids unknowingly because you didn't take the time to really put in the work to break the cycle, to understand that this is not of God. I know God don't want me to work like this, and in the end, it's not going to benefit me. So I need to break these. So like that's really deep. Soul ties, because we say that a lot in the church. So what is your definition or outlook on soul ties?
Soul ties is a deep thing. And the thing excuse me about soul ties is a lot of people connect soul ties with sex and with being with a partner, when you can have emotional soul ties to someone. I was with someone for 5 years. I love that man, still do. And we never did anything. Kiss, nothing. Most we did was hug.
That's deep.
Listen, and I was emotionally tied to him because it's like the only way that I can give myself to him was through my love. So when it came to the point where we had to break up, I was so heartbroken, and I didn't want to let that thing go because I was emotionally tied to this person. And when you come to the sexual aspect of it, it's so much deeper than what we can explain, because you be tied to one person, but then because that person is tied to somebody else and y'all done laid down and slept and everything, now you're tied to each and every person that person slept with, and each and every person that person slept with is now tied to you as well. Like, it's a continual thing. And again, that triggers down to the cycles of, keep going back and not understanding why you have different feelings towards different people. And it's because of the soul tie that you have with that person, which is, again, like you think of a knot. And, until you take that knot apart and make it a straight line, you're still going to be tied. Like, you're still going to be in that knot. So the thing is to cut that thing off and ask God to go to the root of it, go back to the, if it's a sexual soul tie, go to who that person slept with, who that person slept with, and ask God to cut the ties, cut the roots. Because then you start feeling like, I remember I was with somebody, and again, like I loved him, but the thing was, like, he was mentally like a little off sometimes, and I would hear it in his, when he was talking, and I was like, dog, like something up with you. But then I would remember feeling the same way that he was feeling, because I was emotionally tied to him. So it works in different ways. Like, soul ties, it's so deep. It is very deep.
You ever be in a relationship with somebody, and I remember this when I was dating, like, you ever be in a relationship with somebody and that person was like real mean and real like just didn't treat you right. Like, you asking them, getting smart and being disrespectful, and then y'all break up, right? And then you get into a relationship with somebody else, and you find yourself being that person that they to you, to this person, nice pie, kind, do anything for you, treat you good, no reason. But now you're Tyrone, or now you're Keisha. That's a soul tie. That's exactly. You have now become that person, because
that person.
You love them so deep. You invested so much in them. You gave them the deepest part of you. They were able to penetrate you to the core, and they really started to not only just rub off, but drop some stuff
exactly
and leave it there.
Yeah.
For room to grow and harvest and plant. Now you Tyrone.
Exactly. Yeah. It's bad.
Like, why am I being mean to him? Like, stop.
You gotta cut it off.
You gotta cut. Or you may not deal with it. Your kids may not deal with it, but you wonder why your grandchildren is having feelings towards the same, because you didn't cut those things off previously, or you didn't ask for deliverance, and it will come back for you. That's what the enemy's job is to do.
Oh,
to take the whole lineage out.
Yeah, that's what he wants.
Whole, like everything about you gotta go. So it was cycles, it was soul ties, and it was one more. Addiction.
Yeah.
How can I forget that? That was that. Yeah. You expound a little bit on that.
So addictions is constantly or consistently, or let me say it this way, spiritually, putting something before God. Like, you always have to go to that thing before you go to God. So you can be addicted to social media, because as soon as I wake up, the first thing I do is pick up my phone before I say, thank you, Lord. Thank you for waking me up. Like, I can breathe. Before you say any of that, it's, let me check and see who liked my picture. let me check and see if anybody commented on my status. Let me see if there's anything funny on my explore page or on TikTok. Like that can be an addiction. People can be addicted to their jobs. When you are, church say, hey, we have a revival, and you like, no, I ain't taking off because I gotta work. Church ain't giving me no money, so I gotta make it myself, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And you're working hundreds of hours of overtime because you don't trust God that he will provide for you and that he will make ways for you. And all he's asking for is that time for you to get in his presence, for you to, be revived, or, to come to church and get what you need. But instead you're like, no, I gotta work. No, I gotta work. So every time something comes up, no, I gotta work, but you make time for other things that you want to do. Mm-hmm. People can be addicted to, like I spoke about, to sex. You can be addicted to television. You always binge watching shows. You're always, watching TV. You like, all right, I'm gonna read my word. 2 hours later, you still looking at TV. So exactly.
How tall is God?
Right. Exactly. It is a long, people, of course, the most common that we know about, you can be addicted to alcohol. You can be addicted to drugs. Like there's a lot of different things that you can be addicted to. And it's just whatever takes the place of God. Like you go to that thing more than you go to God. It could be very well be an addiction.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear that loud and clear, right? It just resonates with me, even with you saying that, right? I'm thinking and reflecting on myself, and I'm like, wow, that thing is an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
To that more than I'm gonna be honest. This is a true, transparent moment. I think I call on people. My posture is this.
Mm-hmm.
More than prayer.
Yeah.
Here with it. Like, so what you think?
Right.
Not remembering all the time that people who I'm asking their advice don't love God.
Right.
Don't pray. Not even going to submit. Even if I don't listen to them and I listen to God, they don't even believe, or like what God's saying is not even on their radar. They're gonna tell me the good thing or whatever to get me off their phone or whatever. Mm-hmm. So that's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. Your addiction, whatever you put before God, before going to him. Yeah, because it's an instant gratification.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's pleasing your flesh more than your spirit. Like you feel like you gotta have it, like you itching. If you don't do it, or if you don't, it's pretty much like you can't live without it, almost like, when people go through withdrawal, they start itching like, oh, I gotta have it. And it's like they have to have that self-control in order to not go back to it, which is why a lot of times, people take social media breaks, because they see that it's like they catch themselves in this thing of, wow, like I'm really am on social media. Like when I look at my report, I get my report on Sundays of how much I've been on social media and different things. I'd be like, whoa, Nelly, you gotta pull back. you gotta fix some things. Like,
it's so true. Wow, because even with me saying that, I'm noticing, thank you guys, seriously. I'm noticing that lately, right? What I want to hear, what I'm looking for, I haven't been getting it.
Mm-hmm.
So now I feel like God is like, no, I'm turning those people who you call first,
right,
I'm them off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to let you get what you want, because I'm the only supplier. I am the source. You're going to the resource. I am the source. Come to the
exactly.
source. And that's been I'm just being honest. That's been my lately. Like that's been my posture. Like not praying, not getting with him. I've been like, oh, so this is bothering me, and I think I need to change my posture. My posture change instead of this, like getting on my knees and praying.
Right.
Oh God, because he's no longer letting people tickle my ear.
Exactly.
Like, no, I'm turning it off, because you need to handle. You need to be focused, and you're not.
Exactly.
Well, all right, God.
Yes. Come on and reveal.
Well, all right, God. Okay. All right. This is a good conversation, might I say. This is and my husband been telling me that all week, like that's gonna be a good one. There. That one right there, a good conversation, and I agree. I'm being blessed by this. I really, really am. And this is I really want these segments, like I said, they're for the people who are watching, for the people who want to know our friends, your friends, my friends, people who don't know us, and for each other. Like,
right,
something happens when you start saying stuff, and you're like, oh, well, I didn't even think about that.
exactly.
But
Yeah,
it turns on the light. Like that's the vibe I want to release.
yeah.
There's so many vibes being released. This is the vibe that I want to release from
Yeah.
8:30 to 9:30. Like these things.
Right. Right.
All right, so let's play another little game. Now, I remember a couple of, I think it was maybe like a year ago, you had posted a Martin clip. So I was like, oh, she a Martin fan? So we're gonna do a little Martin trivia because everybody knows. Right. Anybody that know me know I love Martin. Okay. All right. So here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
Name 6 characters that Martin played on his show.
All right. He played himself. Shanae, Roscoe, Jerome, oh my gosh, Otis, fly, dragon, the fly dragon guy. That was 6.
You got if you want to, you got 2 more.
Oh my gosh, Jerome.
I'm gonna give you a hint because you got all 6. I'm gonna give you a hint. Don't you know no good?
I thought I said him. That's Jerome, right? Oh wait,
that's the mechanic.
Right. Oh my gosh. All right, I can't think of his name.
Elwood Preston, I give you that. And then the last one. He ain't do the show too much. King Beef. Go King Beef. Go King Beef.
Oh yeah. Yes.
You're doing good. Like you getting all of them. Okay. Next one. First and last name of all 5 characters.
Martin Payne. Gina Payne.
What was her name before it was Payne?
Hey, you getting me? Oh my gosh, Gina.
It's an element.
I cannot think. Waters. Gina Waters. Pamela James. Cole Thomas. Oh, I'm making up stuff.
Cole Jenkins.
And Tommy, oh my gosh, what was his last name? I can't think of Tommy's last name.
I'll give you 0.5. It's Cole Brown and Tommy.
That's what I thought. I was about to say something else.
All right, and last one. What city did the show take place in?
Chicago. No, I don't know. Wait. Oh my gosh, I just hit it. It wasn't Chicago. Oh my gosh. I can't think of it. Never mind. I forgot. See, that's what happened when you put on the spot.
Detroit.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But you did so good. Like I want to start having like little prizes because you did so good. That was so good. Like you did better than everybody that came over here. I'm like, I don't know these answers, but you did really, really well. So I think top spot.
Thank you.
All of my yes so far. Some more hands, y'all. Some more hands. Hey. So now loose me and let me go. Let's get into it.
All right, y'all. So I guess this is like the official announcement.
Oh wait. No, no,
No,
no.
it's cool. It's cool.
Too?
Yeah, it's cool.
Honor. Okay. Okay.
So this is the official announcement. I am not done yet, but I am working on a 3-book series called Loose Me and Let Me Go. Each book is going to kind of be like a workbook where you can, like I'll be asking you questions and you could jot down your thoughts and whatever comes to mind. And like really, it's all about taking a self-evaluation of yourself to see if you're dealing with these things. So when we talk, again, the whole series is called Loose Me and Let Me Go. Part 1 is breaking free from addictions. Part 2 is breaking free from soul ties. And part 3 is breaking free from cycles. And I plan to have those released before the end of the year.
Right. So you did a phone call like I think like last week. You reached out to some young ladies in Africa.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
So last year I actually went to Africa and ministered in whatever way God had me, and being still connected with some of those people. Even the pastor that took me down there, Apostle Tina, I've been connected with her for it's been a long time. But she's in Charleston, West Virginia, and we always knew that there was a divine connection with us. And she always saw something in me. So because of that connection, it birthed other connections, which again allowed me to go to Zimbabwe, South Africa last year, and then also being asked to do a girl chat last week, where there were over 350 girls and women on the line, on the WhatsApp. So if y'all know the WhatsApp is like, you can do video, but it's pretty much text, audio, and pictures and stuff like that. So my whole sermon, first off, the theme of it was a 1-day conference, and I was the guest speaker, and the theme of it was whole again. And again, over 350 women, they had to create a whole nother chat because the first chat was filled to capacity, so that other women can get on. Even to, all right, so before I jump to that, so I was just, she wanted me to share my testimony, which I did. And because she told me that like a lot of women there deal with low self-esteem, they deal with being molested, being raped, and not knowing how to get rid of those feelings, and not really having a good support system to help them through different things. So I had a whole hour to just minister to them. And then the second hour was me answering questions that they had. And a lot of those questions I wasn't ready for. I was like, whoa, this is beyond me. Like, this is deep. But I thank God that he gave me the words and what to say and how to say it, to be an encouragement to them, to still let them know what was right, what was wrong, but to also still encourage them to keep their stand and not to give in, and not to lower their standards for anyone, no matter how you feel and no matter what you're going through. So that was a very powerful moment for me. Like, I was afterwards, I couldn't do anything. Like, I just had to like sit back. I think I didn't eat anything until like 11:30 that night because I was just stuck. The host, Prophetess Naomi, she texted me and she was like, there are still questions coming in, like, how do you want to do this? And I was like, you can just text it to me and I'll respond tomorrow. And she was like, okay. And I had like 20 more questions that I had to go through and answer and reply to each one. Even today, I think 3 of them actually inboxed me on the WhatsApp and was like, thank you so much, but listen, I have this, and that. I don't know how to do it. I was just like, okay, sure. Like, I'll help you. You know, they're asking me like if I have any other group chats for women where, you know, they can be encouraged and get scriptures and stuff. And I'm like, I really don't. And I never thought of it, but I think I may do it just for them and see who wants to get on, like just to get and empowerment and encouragement and different affirmations to hold you through the day. So I think I may do that. I'm praying on it, like just to see how to go forth with it. But yeah, God has expanded my borders, and he's, you know, putting me in new places and allowing me to minister in new ways. Because like I said, me preaching, I had to record it, then send it to one group, and then forward the same thing that I just recorded to the other group so that both groups are still getting the same word. But it was awesome. It was amazing. It was very humbling.
I think that the phrase "it had to happen" that's universal.
Yeah.
That's for everybody. So
Yeah.
I feel like you can literally go to the ends of the earth and everybody can relate to
Yeah.
that. Everybody has an it.
Yes, exactly.
Everybody has an it. A car accident, an
Mm-hmm.
amputation, a death, a
Right.
crisis, a rape, everybody has it. Neglect,
Right.
rejection, everybody has an it.
Yes.
Even if you don't know Christ, it had to happen.
It had to happen. Yeah.
It had to happen. It had to happen for a greater something else. Um, so do you feel like you're called to minister to women
Mm,
specifically?
definitely. Yes. Um, women and young children that feels abandoned, especially children that like grew up in foster care and stuff. I feel like those are my two main ministry focuses right now. But above the children, I know is definitely women that deal with not being able to um, feel the victory in their testimony, not being able to see the worth in themselves because of different things that they've gone through, and those who have stayed stuck, like they see themselves stuck and they just gave up. Women that deals with abandonment, rejection, hurt, anger, whatever it is, like God, I do believe that that's where God has called me.
Amen. Amen. Now, I know I asked you if you could render us a poem. Do you have one in the chamber?
Uh, I don't, unless I do part of it had to happen.
Okay.
Before I go into the singing part, because I ain't singing. I don't know how long we've been in quarantine, but that's how long it's been.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. Oh Jesus, God, remember it.
Come on, Lord, bless us, bless us,
Do it, Lord.
bless us.
Because it's crazy. Like if I don't minister it for a long time, like even when I go to minister, like I still have to keep repeating it to make sure that I have the words. Okay. All right. So if I stumble over it, y'all, please forgive me.
It had to happen.
It had to happen. All right. I'm gonna close my eyes so I can focus and hopefully see the words. So let's see. There was a time in my life when doing me was my occupation. I was walking around with years of anger built up in frustration. I was losing myself and started to slowly become the person the enemy said that I would be. But deep down inside, all I wanted to be was free. Free from the pain of my past that still had a hold on me. I was walking around smiling and laughing, yet dealing with so many insecurities, saying that I was okay, but dying inwardly. You see, it all started when I was placed in foster care after being raped and molested. The flashback still torments my mind, and sometimes I just wish that I could forget it. forget that this ever happened to me, and live a normal life of happiness. But instead, I was beating myself up, trying to figure out how I could have prevented it. Looking in the mirror, not liking the person looking back at me. I felt dirty, ugly, worthless, and just knew that the world would be better off without me. So 3 times I tried to commit suicide and got upset with God when nothing ever happened, from trying to bleed to death to overdosing, but not seeing any effects of it. I became maddened. I didn't understand what purpose I would have here, as messed up as I was. I was so lost, ashamed. I felt guilty and unloved. So I gave myself away to any man that showed me that he cared. I knew it wasn't real, but it filled the void from the absence of love that wasn't there. Next thing I knew, I was an undercover prostitute, living a life of self-hate, selling my body in exchange for anything that could buy me temporary happiness while leaving permanent scars. I didn't know how much more I could take. I knew of God, but didn't know him personally for myself. But I didn't let that stop me, because I was desperate for help. I became like the woman with the issue of blood, pushing through all circumstances just to touch the hem of his garments. I was tired of the pain, the hurt, and the torment, and I began to cry out to God. And that's when the singing come in. Yeah.
I'm speechless. I always am. That I give a reaction every time I hear it. Cornelia, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, wait. So what can we expect from you from like the rest of this year into next year? You got anything cooking up or?
Well, I have something before the Lord that I really want to do. I really want to do like not a seminar, but like a 1-day conference, empowering women, more so that has, dealt with abuse, and hurt and things of that sort, that needs encouragement, knowing and realizing their self-worth. So I have that before God. As I stated earlier, I am releasing my books by the before the year is out. I'm not even gonna put a month out there.
I'm sorry if I
No, it's fine. So that will be out before the year is over, because it is 3 books that I'm working on. And whatever else I don't know. If it comes up, it'll be God ordained, and he'll tell me, Cornelia, do this or whatever, like whether I'm linking up with somebody else or doing it on my own and it's under Cornelia Caison Ministries, I don't know. But I am, whatever it is, I'm excited about what God is doing. I'm excited for this next level, and I'm just going with the flow.
I am too. I really am. About what God is doing, and I'm watching and I'm praying for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm supporting you. So yeah, if there's anything you ever need, like this not one of them funeral. If there's anything you need,
right.
I'm serious, like, because I want to build those relationships with people who are like-minded and who can who I can look to and kind of get some encouragement. So yeah, I'm praying for you.
Thank you.
Courage. Keep your hand, girl, to that gospel plow and hold on. Thank you so much for joining me. And may God bless you and continue. Love you.
Love you too. Thank you.
Stay tuned next week, and we'll be back next week with another episode of Vibe with Lexi. Peace.